Governor Mike DeWine recently announced $20 million in grant money for arts organizations around the state.
And some local organizations are benefiting. First News Weekend morning anchor Samantha Bender is live from Dior Performing Arts Center to share more.
Dave, Lindsay, good evening. Yes, the state is awarding over $20 million in grants to support 104 arts-based organizations in 33 counties here in Ohio, Mahoning and Trumbull counties included. One of those organizations receiving a substantial amount of funding is the Youngstown Symphony Society right here in downtown Youngstown. And today I spoke with its CEO about how they'll use those funds. This is part of the second round of the Ohio Arts Economic Relief Grant Program. In Trumbull County, JAC Management Group Packard is receiving money. In a statement, Phoebe Breckenridge with JAC Management said, quote, "The grant funds will be primarily used for employee recruitment, employee training, and ever-increasing operational costs." In Mahoning County, Opera Western Reserve and the Butler Institute of American Art are also receiving funds. And the Youngstown Symphony Society is receiving over $106,000.
The orchestra season runs us about $650,000 a year, so 106 goes towards a nice chunk of that.
Symphony CEO Matt Pajak tells me their building is quite expensive to take care of and operate, so that's another portion of the operating budget.
Some of that $106,000 would go towards helping to support the building and taking care of this historical treasure that we have.
On the orchestra side,
ticket sales are not going to ever cover that entire budget. I mean, if we were to have the ticket prices be at the scale they would need to be to cover the budget it takes to operate the orchestra, most people would never be able to afford to come.
Pajak says this funding helps offset that cost and allows them to do things a little bigger than they normally would.
So it allows us to do things like Home Alone that we're going to be showing with the orchestra in December, which is not cheap to do. It costs a lot of money to bring in a film like that.
Pajak adds the arts are an economic driver, bringing people into the community. Plus,
having jobs for people are important, but if there's not something for them to do when they're not at work, the quality of life isn't there, and arts is a huge part of the quality of life for everyone.
Matt tells me when you apply for funding for anything, it's never guaranteed. He tells me he and his team learned a long time ago not to count their chickens before they hatch. So it's really great that they're receiving this funding. It puts them at ease that they can move forward with some of the things that they had been planning with that extra assurance. Live in Youngstown, Samantha Bender, WKBN 27 First News.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Watson. Thanks for watching the WKBN 27 First News YouTube channel. If you want more video news, subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the WKBN 27 First News app for breaking news alerts.